I'm at the bad guy for not sharing my inheritance with the rest of my family. My family situation is messy. I was engaged 4 years ago to my high school sweetheart. My fiance cheated on me with my sister. We had never had a good relationship, even as kids, so after I found out, I went scorched earth both of them. She was so in love with my fiance, but he dumped her within 2 weeks and was back trying to get me to forgive him. I didn't. My parents were initially on my side, but my sister had a nervous breakdown after she was dumped and was hospitalized, so they changed their tune to "It's over now, and you can't be mad forever." So I dumped them, too, and went to grad school on the other side of the country. My grandfather was livid with the whole thing, disowned my sister, and chewed out my parents. Sometimes it felt like he was the only one who was on my side and understood. I was able to get my job to let me work remotely and move back to take care of him when he got sick last fall, and I was devastated when he passed a couple of months ago. I had been in limited contact with my parents since I came back, mostly because I didn't want to be an obstacle to my dad seeing my grandfather, but with the understanding that any discussion of my sister or what happened will end that. It turns out that my grandfather let me virtually everything. He left enough for my father to cover a debt and some token stuff for a couple of their relatives. But he wrote the letters for everyone and did a videotape with his attorney explaining what his intentions were. I know that he had done well for himself, but he lived a pretty simple lifestyle, so I didn't realize how much money and assets he really had. I will give it all up to have my paper back, but even after taxes, it's a sad for life money. My parents are pretty mad about it. One of the reasons stated for cutting them out was how disappointed my grandfather was with how they had treated me growing up versus my sister, and over the fiancé debacle. There were other reasons, but that's what they fixated on. Their will is pretty alright apparently, so my parents want me to do the right thing and share it equally between me, them, and my sister. Their argument is that I don't need it. I make more than both of them combined, and this will allow them to retire. My sister is not doing great and can hold a job, so this will ensure she has something for when my parents pass. I don't want to. My grandfather's wishes were crystal clear, and also I kind of don't feel like doing more than the minimum for any of them. They've been telling me that I'm being vindictive because of my mistake years ago. I can't deny there might be a little vindictiveness. I don't want them to suffer necessarily, but I also don't feel like that they deserve my help. So, what do you think? I'm at the bad guy for stopping my cousin's marriage proposal. I'm 27, female. Just got married to the love of my life, Jacob, the past weekend. My cousin Patrick has always been immature, selfish, and rudely forward. For as long as I can remember, he's never failed to make birthday parties not his own, holidays, and other occasions all about him. The adults in the family have always shown him favoritism, and this has over time spoiled and enabled him. A week before the wedding, he called me to let know that he was going to propose to his longtime girlfriend during the reception. This infuriated me, but I calmly asked him to not go through with it. When he asked why, I said that I didn't want attention to be deviated away from me and my husband on our special day. This didn't go over well, and soon after he began yelling at me. He even went as far as calling me selfish witch, and then hanging up on me. Later that day, I received multiple angry phone calls from our parents saying that I was being selfish and unreasonable. I explained to them that at the end of the day, it was my wedding day and that it was my decision if I wanted the proposal to take place. This angered many, with some family members going as far as deciding to not attend. I assumed that Patrick was also going to make a show, but to my surprise, he texted me saying that he had showed up anyway. I knew that he was going to go against my wishes and carry on with the proposal, so I concocted a plan and showed a picture of Patrick to the live band that I hired for the reception. I even paid them extra with the request to start playing Should Patrick ever try to make a speech. The day was finally here and Patrick arrived with his girlfriend and his parents. He was acting very cordial for once, but I was not fooled. After the maid of honor and best man speeches, I noticed Patrick getting up from his seat and making his way toward to the stage. And just like that, the band started to play. I smiled, grabbed my husband, and rushed toward the dance floor. Everyone else joined in, and it looked as though Patrick's actions went unnoticed. He made 3 more attempts, which were shut down immediately with loud music. Some of the cousins even blocked his path, telling him to just cut it out. He looked more and more angry as the night progressed, and eventually grabbed his girlfriend's hand and stormed out of the venue. As I watched him leave, I laughed aloud and had a blast for the rest of the night with family and friends. I woke up the next morning to more angry text messages and voicemails, which I ignored. I decided to not engage in the drama and just enjoy my honeymoon with my husband. So, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not the bad guy for telling my best friend I won't go to her wedding. My best friend is getting married in just under 3 weeks. I was supposed to be bridesmaid, and I have been excited for the wedding since before the engagement. I knew her partner was going to propose, have help with making decisions on the wedding, help with the and-do, bachelorette party, and bought my bridesmaid dress and booked my hotel. I love them as a couple, and they're both my best friends. I have been with my boyfriend for 2.5 years and have known him and his family for 10 years. When we first became a couple, he told me his dad has terminal lung cancer. 3 months ago, we found out that the cancer had spread to his brain and he was given 3 months to live. Over that time, his health started to decline slowly and then suddenly over the last month. Due to all of this, we had to miss the hand-do as we will have to be away for a few days. But we didn't want to leave my partner's dad. My best friend and I live 2 hours apart and we don't drive. Trains are expensive and take even longer than driving, so a last-minute rush from the hand-do to his dad will be near impossible if anything was to happen. We are now at the end of his dad's prognosis, and he's currently in the last stages of death. A few days ago, my best friend demanded an answer on if it will be at the wedding or not. Up until then, we believe we wouldn't be able to attend, but now we are unsure what will happen. As she demanded an answer since she didn't want us to cancel last minute, we decided to decline attending as we didn't want to leave it to the day before. Despite us being heartbroken, we won't be there. A few weeks ago, my best friend said to make my boyfriend's dad the priority over the wedding day. She clearly changed her mind, as in response to my message explaining our choice, She only screenshotted it and then instantly kicked me from the bridesmaid group chat. Then she ignored me for the following few days. When she finally responded, she said that she understood why my partner wasn't attending, but didn't understand why I wasn't. And she was devastated and angry over the choice. I explained that I refused to leave my partner alone during one of the hardest things he will experience. Plus, his dad also means a lot to me, as I went no contact with my dad 2 years ago, and since then, my boyfriend's dad had basically stepped up and been a father figure to me, so I want to be there for him too. I'm also disabled and haven't traveled alone overnight since 2019. She's still really upset and angry and is ignoring me once again. She had said that a few people in her life were on her side, yet people in my life understand my paw and are upset and shocked with her. So I'm confused. Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for going on a trip with my maternal family against my parents' and sister wishes, which made my sister cry? My mom died when I was 11 weeks old. Now I'm 16, female. My parents were pretty young when they had me, like 26, 25, respectively, and my dad was remarried a little over a year later. When I was 3, my younger sister was born, and my parents, our maternal family, ended up voting over my maternal family not wanting to form a relationship with my sister and saying they will not be treating the two of us equally. My stepmom ended up adopting me in an effort to sever contact with my maternal side of the family. But my maternal grandparents went to court for grandparents' visitations right, which they were granted. Until I was 12, I saw my grandparents 1 day a month, 2 days a month on my birthday month, and at Christmas, when my dad was obligated to let me see them around the Christmas period. I grew up very close to my maternal family, and when I was 12, Dad started letting me dictate how much contact I had with them. He didn't like it, I know, but he allowed it because he sensed that I will become resentful of being kept from them when I was so closely bonded with them. It has never bothered me that they didn't want to form a relationship with my sister. I get why they feel that way, and I understand why to them, my stepmom and sister are not part of the family. For me, there is no big deal in that. It doesn't upset my sister, but I have always assured her I love her and she's not going to lose me. I explained it to her that my mom died before I could get to know her, and that it's nice being with the people who were very close to her, and that I can ask them questions. I can ask my dad. She didn't understand that because my stepmom adopted me. She believed for so long that it meant my mom was no longer my mom at all, and I became her mom's daughter completely. My maternal family all planned for this big family vacation in July. They expressed an interest in me going and approached my dad about it. My parents brought it up to me and stated that they did not want me to go, that when my sister heard about it, she got very upset and wondered why they still didn't want her to know that she's 13 and could go and not be a burden on them. They said they would let me go, but they wanted to be clear that I will be breaking my sister's heart. My stepmom also told me that she wanted me to consider the fact that she had adopted and loved me and accepted me as her daughter, and that I still call her my stepmom after all those years and not knowing my mom. She suggested that maternal family were the reason for that, and that it would have been kinder for me to not have any form of attachment to my mom when I can never get to know her. That it would have been kinder to allow me to see her stepmom as my only mom. I chose to go on vacation, and I had a great time. My sister was upset and she even cried a few times afterward. She asked why I left her behind, why I let her be left out all the time. My parents kept to their words as well, and I can't tell they are disappointed in me. So, am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not wanting to stop being mute once my daughter turns 18? Hi, I have a daughter, Cece, with my husband, Ray. Cece has a brain-based disorder called misophonia that makes her very sensitive to certain sounds. In her case, people speaking, chewing, anything with the mouth pretty much, and it's very severe. Ever since she was born, she was prone to outbursts and meltdowns, details on which I'm not able to share here, from my voice. We thought she was likely on the spectrum for a while, until a professional told us she believes she has misophonia. I don't know, it's not yet recognized as a disorder, so you technically can be diagnosed. Her anger was always instant, and at its worst whenever I made any noises, so to keep it to a minimum, we formed a plan that I will not speak in her presence ever. Instead, I use ASL, texting, text to speech, or Ray will be messenger. Anything but my mom's pretty much. I even have to be careful just clearing my throat or making sure she can hear me from another room so she isn't triggered. She stopped going to public school and takes her classes online. We are also all in therapy, while she is also in cognitive behavioral therapy. She has shown a lot of improvement over the last years, but my voice is still a huge trigger for her. She finds my voice grating and unbearable, and she goes from 0 to 100 at the slightest noise I make. It's been awful for me to deal with in all honesty, and while our relationship isn't terrible by any means, there is always this barrier. She will be starting senior year soon, and Ray and I decided that once she became an adult, I will not be mute anymore. I think it's been long enough now, and Ceci will need to try and make do because her conditions is still not recognized to a lot of people, and thus the real world will not be able to be nearly as accommodating towards her condition compared to others. With the year to go, we thought we will tell her now in advance so she could prepare. She took this horribly and doesn't know how she will function in the house, as she wants to take online courses. With her she can stay as long as she wants, rent-free, but this is the condition. She has not been talking to me since, and Ray thinks we shall change our minds to until she moves out or finished college instead, but I don't want to budge. I care for her comfort, but I really want to have my voice in the home back. So, what do you think?